Okay, right, back to my, the third video for this Accord. As you can see, I've completely ripped out the dashboard and done the most fucking backyard bullshit you can imagine with cable ties and getting this speedo cluster in there. It's probably a fire hazard. I've done the most unspeakable things to get this so that I can drive it in and out of the garage. But yeah, it all fires up. And yeah, didn't catch fire, so that's a massive bonus. But yeah, I've got the whole dash out now, which means the entire interior is elsewhere. You're still yet in this video to take the bonnet and guards and doors off, but I think I get into that a bit later. I'm fucking terrible at making videos, and I've just spliced these all together. But yeah, there's my door cards that will be going in, the red interior. I've started putting stuff away in boxes and searching through and sorting everything. Everything that I've got is labeled, which is good. I'm thankful that I labeled this all like a year ago. Got all the upholstery, lamps, that's the back seats, and the front seats, and yeah, I'm not even sure what little clip that I've put up next, but we will see. Okay, so that's the tow bar. Holy piss, I had an absolute fucking nightmare getting that off the car. I jumped on it and everything, I didn't realize it was fastened into the little rails underneath. Some fucking sausage has completely slapped on so much bog onto the back of this thing. So I figured I'd get a screwdriver and try and pry it all off on camera. So this is, I don't even know what I'm gonna do here. I don't want to do what they've done. That's just way too much. This is all the interior of my van, which I've gone stored at family member's house in one of the spare rooms because they're not at their home at the moment, and I'll be dropping that off to someone down south. This is the rear windshield rust. I actually did this. This is so bad. When I got the car, I just had to get a waft real quick, and I ended up filling up this back area with like foam and silicone and everything from inside the trunk. Basically the most blasphemous thing I could ever do to a vehicle. I did it. But yeah, just so full of shit. Pretty much made more work for myself. But yeah, this is all just turned into Weet-Bix. Yeah, so spend a little good while getting all that out, grinding back all this too, which I'll hopefully film later in the video. But yeah, just an absolute dog's breakfast. I really caked that. Great for me. But yeah, I ended up getting all this out. It took maybe half an hour to get this all kind of cleaned up and out of there. Right, so there you can see, got rid of all the foam, silicone, fog, all that other shit. And there seems like a good spot to cut, because there's I've ground it back to see that there's bare metal, and just make sure there's no like pitting or pinholes or anything. There's stuff throughout this entire seam, but there seems to have some decent meat left on it, and you can see there where the rust kind of stopped, so I'll probably end up cutting through there. Well, I know that I ended up cutting through there, and cut all that out, and then I'm gonna have to make up plates, which I've never actually done before for a vehicle, so I'm just learning as I go. If anyone out there's watching that actually knows what they're doing, I'm sorry about all the amateur mistakes I'll probably be making on this, but it's fun to learn, I think, especially at home, and it's also considerably cheaper. But yeah, I'll cut through there, come along there, and then I'll cut right up to there on that seam. Well, I guess on the swage line, what you'd call it. and then cut through there, and this way I don't have to make any additional bends, because I'll be welding against the vertical. You can see there I've outlined, cut that off. This, yeah, just not having to fuck around with making more bends would be the way that I think would be easiest for me. But yeah, you can see that it's not too bad in there. You can see I've got pretty good steel, even though it's like 0.9 mil steel, I'm pretty sure. I've still got decent amounts left through there that aren't rusted. I think this won't be the toughest part of the car, which is really nerve-wracking, because already, to me as an amateur, this would be quite tough to make, but I've got somewhat faith in doing it, in myself in doing it. But yeah, it's good that the rust didn't go through to that seam there, because that would have been an absolute fucking nightmare if I had to try and replicate that again. So luckily we've got the strength there. I don't think it's gonna have any structural integrity issues now that I'm just cutting out that one bit. This is the guard, rip the guard off. I think it's the first time it's been taken off based on how much goop was all around it. There was just sloshed like stuff everywhere, all this rust that had painted up on that top of that scuttle panel. Yeah, I don't think this guard's been taken off before, really, based on what I could see. These parts of the cars and all the four that I've had of these models, it always goes at the bottom of the doors there. That's the most common spot. Really silly design for that one part, but I guess it's just kind of classic, like traditional of the time. There's the guard there. That spot down the bottom is cooked, so I will need to figure out what I'm going to do there, whether I cut it or whether I find another panel and cut and match it, or if I try and fabricate something up. I'm not too worried about that spot there. I'll probably end up just cutting that out. Oh, there we go. I can't even remember doing this. That's how fucking tired I am. But yeah, just all this stuff here I think I'm not too concerned about. I think I'll just end up treating it and it seems okay. This is the rain gutters down the side. I ended up just chopping them off, which was a massive commitment. I was umming and ahhing about it, but I'm glad that I did in the end, because there are so many rust holes down the side of this thing. But there is about a 25 to 30 mil tab that runs across the top of all, like over the face of all this. So once it's all rust treated, I'm just going to make sure that there's enough metal. You can see there, that's kind of the thickness that it goes in. Maybe that's more like 20 mil. But yeah, I just cut all of it out. I ended up taking off that last bit too that you just recently saw. I ended up taking that out. Oh, this iMac is having an absolute psycho at me. It sounds like it's about to take off. Yeah, that's where I made the cut there. So I'll obviously have to keep this, because fuck, trying to replicate that as an amateur, that's going to be way too hard. And yeah, you can see here, those are all the spots. I ended up cutting some of the ones above the rear driver's side door, because I don't think there's enough left on it to be strong enough to weld to when I put the new tabs back on, and it just didn't feel right leaving it with that many holes that close together. The rest of the holes I'm not too worried about, because there is going to be another piece welded over the front of that, and I just don't think it's going to be a make or break of the car. They are pretty small holes, and once I've treated them and kind of, yeah, I think now that if I fish oil all the gutter rails when I put them back on and get them watertight, and this will be garaged, I don't think there's going to be too much of an issue. I got a little bit trigger happy on the angle grinder there and cut that spot out, because I'm just an absolute spoon. Live and learn, I guess. But yeah, if I cover that up with those tabs, then no one will ever know, except for narrating it into a YouTube video. But this part in front of us here, that's what I'm going to be cutting out, and that's what I did cut out. And that was the first rust repair I've done on this car, which I'm going to show you some photos of shortly from my shitty Samsung, because I've been using my flatmate's iPhones recently. to get this all uploaded because they just don't. It doesn't look as good on the Samsungs, on the old Samsungs. So this is what it looks like. Cut it out with the angle grinder. I wish I had a plasma cutter, but I don't. That's the little plate that I fabricated up just with a hammer, and then I whacked it in there, welded it up, and that's kind of what it looks like. It's still pretty shocking, but it's not bad for a first. And yeah, I just butt welded it in there, and there's some small pitting and little holes and everything, but I think that's alright because I'm not going to be putting more than 1 millimeter of filler on it, and that's what wasn't there. And that was just, the holes were too big and too close together for me to leave that, so I cut that bit out. And that's my first rust repair on this car. I'm happy I didn't completely fuck it up. Thanks.